I'm going to leave us on like gallery view. And I don't know if some of our other regulars, if you will, are joining us or not. Hopefully. I know Katie, I think Katie was at an event, so she can't join. I don't know if Amy is still messed up from all of her travel and not knowing which end is up. But hey, happy March. Well, I know we're a week into March already, which is amazing, March Madness. And we're going to start off tonight with, I'm looking at my notes, so I'm looking down. We're going to go around the table and we're going to share our numbers. I don't mean volume numbers. I mean, how many numbers did we each present to last month?
Am I going first?
And that was actually a little test because I want to, we certainly can, but I want you to think about yourself. Did that excite you or did that make you feel panicked? And you don't have to say this out loud, but it's just like, it's a self-check. Like, oh, I remember getting on a call one time with Cecilia. It was a VP call. And there was some challenge or some like task that she put out for us. And it was you have to do X by the time we have our next call. And what she said when she first got on was that she's going to go down the list of every person who did not get back to her that they completed the challenge. And that's on a call with about 400 or so other vice presidents that are in her success line. And it was like, oh man.
That's a lot of people she's got to go through.
Yeah. But the reason that I wanted to just put that out there to you guys is just, just think back and use each month or each week as a checks and balance. Like go back. And I would really encourage you guys to go back and look, what did you do last month? How many people did you actually present Arbonne to? And I don't just mean reach out and get like some sort of response, but do like talk about the program or talk about the Is Arbonne for You and what was that number? I'll be honest and tell you my number, I did 25. Our goal is 30 to 40. I didn't quite hit my 30, but I'm happy with what I did because it was more than the month before. And I want to say to you guys, I'm really glad that we're doing these weekly sort of check-in calls because it pushes me even further. And I feel like, those of us who have been checking in are pushing ourselves a little bit more. Do you feel that way, Ashley? I know you've been in it since the first week. Do you feel like
I definitely didn't talk to as many people as I wanted to, but I talked to more people last month than I did the previous month, which is, it's a stepping stone. So,
right.
And this month, I've talked thus far to 4 people, and that's more, I guess last month it was about the same, but like, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a different place than I was 2 months ago. So I feel more confident to speak to people because I don't know. I think the saying is true. Like you've got to get your feet wet. You got to jump in, and once you get your bearings and kind of get the ball rolling, then you feel more comfortable to speak to more people.
Right. Right. So, absolutely. Yeah. Just the act of getting started is the hard part. Just go. All right.
Well, I feel it's like I want to tell everybody, but it's like, how do you approach people that, that may not necessarily be looking for it without being, overly upfront and forthcoming too much. So it's kind of finding the happy medium.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can always do more of how do I and what do I say, but I think the basics in that 30 and 30 script are so good. They're so simple and just, there's X number of people to present to. Would you be willing to hear a 20-minute thing? And if it's not for you, that's great. But, I get to still check it off my list and just putting ownership on the action of checking a name off a list versus what's the outcome going to be. It's so less stressful.
Yeah.
So, my second question for you guys is, what is your goal for March? Like, and this one, if you want to share, I would love for you guys to share, but Do you have a clear picture? What is your goal? What is it that you want to accomplish in this month? Oh, and Liz is sharing her message over there. You know, I know you're behind last week, Liz, but I just want to say, give yourself a little grace with the fact that you just had surgery. And I am proud of you for doing what you're doing. And I know that you can hit what you want to hit. So, you know, good for you, girl. So what are your goals if you want to share?
Well, you know my goal. My goal is to hit DM and to go to area qual. You know, that's the goal for me.
It's happening, girl.
Yep. So
it is gonna happen.
I just looked at my numbers. I actually haven't looked at my office at all until tonight. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like almost there, working on it.
That's okay. And we all know that story, that where you are today doesn't dictate where you're going to be on March 31st. And that's okay. So, but focus on that 30 to 40 faces. This is not anything that we haven't been hearing. And it's like continual theme of being drilled in. When you're checking those names off and filling in, you know, I don't care if you use the 40 faces document or if you are, have a checklist or like whatever works for you.
Rachel has a comment just to speak to that. Rachel, I work outside the home, but I see the same 60 people every single day. I would say my best suggestion lately is to join groups on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Like stuff either, you know, healthy living or like I'm in an autoimmune group and like a mom's group. And I just kind of keep on posting, like checking people's posts. And if I see something that catches my eye, like that's one way to do it. Sorry to interrupt you, Heather, but
no, that's fine. I didn't see her question. So her question, because
she didn't see enough people is what
recording this, is she works at home. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm struggling with, I don't ever get to see 30 people in a month. That's her struggle. Mm-hmm. And that's a great suggestion for her, Ashley. The other thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand is 30 faces in a month does not necessarily mean that you have to be out of your house and sitting with a person. What it means is that you've had a 20-minute conversation, which can be on the phone, most effectively on Zoom, like we're doing right now. So look at how many people do you have friended on Facebook? We all have a boatload of people. And don't go and reach out to the same people that you've reached out to before, but use that script that's right there for us with the 30 and 30, you know, of I'm in a challenge, or my goal for this month is X, you know, of telling the Arbonne story, a 20-minute overview of Arbonne to 30 people this month. Would you do me a favor and just be one of the 30? That's all it takes with the initial reach out. And you have to keep sending that out. Do it as individual text messages. Early on, a couple of people on our team made the mistake of doing it as a group text, which of course we're learning, right? As we do it, we learn, but that's very spammy. So think about that. The people that you know on Facebook, how many contacts do you have in your phone? People from church, people from your kids' schools. There's enough people out there that you can do that. And eventually from those conversations, you're going to get in front of new people. So you'll eventually connect with one person. You tell the whole 20-minute is Arbonne for you. This is all on our page. At the end of it, there's the question that you ask is, are you 1 through 5? Where do you see yourself? The people that are a 5 are ready to do, to jump in and join. The people that are anything else, honestly, is well, that's great. Why don't I show you a little bit more about what I do? Or you want to learn a little bit more about the products? Let's get a couple of people together and let me come and show you, and you get some free and discounted stuff for doing that. So that turns into an event where you will meet new people. That's really the focus and the goal in that. So I hope that helps. And if you want to talk more about some other ideas, just, call me. I'm always here for you guys. Okay, so focusing on that and really be honest with yourself. There's no judgment here. This is just a where am I and where can I improve? That's really all this is. And what I love about that we've had a group that's been doing this now for, I want to say 6 weeks. You guys have seen some things happening in our region. You've seen some new faces coming in and seen some, people that have hit a bonus that haven't hit it before. It's happening because of the activity that they're doing, which is kind of coming out of staying plugged in. And that's what I really like about our weekly half-hour connection. It's when we're filling each other up, we have more fuel to go out there than just a once a month region or DA meeting. So that's really, really important. The other thing that I want to remind you guys about is there's so many incentives that are out there right now, whether they're Arbonne incentives with the little selfie light thing, or consultant cash incentives with the $100 cash for consultants, the district manager bonuses. All of these things are out there. Or if I reach out to you and say like, hey, if you do X, I'll give you, whatever. Whether or not you like the prize, like someone was like, oh, I don't care about that selfie light thing. Who cares about the thing? It's not about the thing, and even if it's a product or something that you're not personally going to use, go get it and then use that as an incentive for someone to book an event with you. Like, you don't have to keep the thing, but by going after the fun incentives, you're going to grow your business. And I love these fun little things that Arbonne is putting out there. And again, I have more Arbonne stuff than I know what to do with. So I'm going to give it away. Like, I'm going to give it to our team, and I'm going to give it to people who have events. I'm going to give it to people to sign up and join the business or do the detox or whatever it is. It's just more fuel for you guys. But the point is, go after every single one of these. I remember Cecilia talking about there was some crazy trip that I forget where it was, but she was scared to death because that goal seemed completely unachievable to her. It's nice to see your face. But she was talking herself out of going for the incentive by like saying like, oh, well, that's not a place I would want to travel, so I'm not even going to bother going for the trip. She's letting herself off the hook. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we do that to ourselves. Like, if you guys haven't earned a brick night in a long time, or you haven't sponsored 5 people in a long time, brick night might seem like, well, it's just a pain in the butt. I got to go out of the house and like find a babysitter and coordinate all that. And, I'm not going to go for it. Don't do that to yourself, because we put these out there to help you guys. And it's fun usually when we get together, but just go for it and don't let past experiences dictate that nonsense in your brain that's going to stop you from going for them. Somebody's like, I don't like that product. I'm not going for the incentive. So give it away. Just
go for it, build your business and give it away.
Exactly. Just go for it. And the system works. I'm not telling you guys something new. This is not like an earth-shattering new, like, oh, hey, Heather's got a great new tip for us. We keep seeing this result. It's a system. I read something in a book recently, and it was actually talking about like building your own path to kind of find out what you want to do in life. But I looked at it in relation to our Arbonne, and when you follow the path, follow the system that's out there, and it says when you follow the same system or path as it's laid out, you will, underline capital letters, you will get where everyone else has gone. So ask yourself this for real. Are you 100% following the system that is that path that is laid out for you? Are you following the system that the team has laid out, that Cecilia has laid out, that Abby has laid out, that Donna, that I have laid out, are you following that? It's not a system that I made, but we know that it works. Or are you kind of waiting in the parking lot before you're ready to get out of your car to go walk down that path, and you're hoping that someone else is going to pull in next to you and walk the path with you so you feel better about following that path, i.e. system? Because that's not going to happen. It's only when you're in the journey of going down the path that the other people come in. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, and I think, Ashley, I think you're a good example. And I love you to pieces, but, you know, over the last, whatever, you kind of been waiting to go in the path. You've been scared to approach that path, that trail through the woods, if you will. And, but now you've sort of taken that faith and like, okay, I'm just going to start walking. I'm just going to start doing this. And now, like, you have people that are hearing you and listening to you, and that are kind of coming into a new light, if that makes sense. So, and here's the thing that I want you guys to know is, do people clearly know where you are going? And I don't just mean like people that are close in your life. If you have a team, does your team really know where you are intending to go? Like, I hope you guys know where I'm intending to go. I am purposefully and soulfully leading you guys to new heights so that we can become a nation, which this is not about me becoming a nation, but, you know, I've been in this level for a while and I need somebody else to know what it feels like. So I am purposely spending the time with you guys to give you the tools that you need to get there. Does your team know where you are going and when that is? Because if nobody knows where you're going, it's kind of like they don't know where to follow you. You need that clear intention. Do your friends know? Does your community know? I think all of our friends and family, you know, in the world of Facebook, know that we do Arbonne, and they know we are so passionate about clean eating and all of that. But do they know why? Like, dig deep and share your vulnerability with the community. Share more about you versus about, you know, the products. Share your journey. Like, Jen, you have had such an amazing transformation. And I think it's been a while since people have seen what has changed in you, because you are, I can't believe how different you are. And I don't just mean physically, but you are such a different person. So share that more with the outside world of what has changed in you. That's what people are going to listen to and hear and be pulled to and drawn to. I hope that makes sense. So you guys get out there and show that. So when it is so dead clear and crystal clear for you, your why and your what and your when, that's when people are going to really, like, moth to a flame, be like, holy smokes, something happened in her. I don't know what happened, but that girl is on fire, and I want what she's got, and I want to be a part of what she's got, and I want to be in that community with them. That's what you guys need to, like, fire yourselves up for and showcase to the world. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting all off track because, like, all of a sudden I got myself fired up there again. All right. So I want to talk about for a minute, like, what have your wins been over the last couple of weeks or last month? If anybody wants to share strides that you're making or things that you're hung up on.
Well, clearly, I mean, you and I have been in touch, but my wins, I think, are definitely just approaching people and not worrying about them saying no and just going for it and if they say no, they say no, but at least I've asked and I
Yeah.
can cross them off the list and say, okay, I can follow up with them later.
Yeah.
A couple people I've actually reached out to in the last couple weeks, a year ago, said they didn't want to talk to me. And I've worked with these people. I mean, like I saw them on a daily basis for many years, and I finally was just like, I just want to talk to you. Give me 20, if you can just give me 20 minutes of your time. Like it's really nothing major. Like a friend of mine said, and I work with her on a daily basis. We're in crisis together on a daily basis. And she's like, I don't want to talk. I can't buy anything. I'm like, I don't even want you to buy anything. I just, 20 minutes of your time, just listen.
Yeah.
Like, is that something you're willing to do? And she never responded. I still see her. I'm like,
That's so awkward.
I'm dumbfounded because I'm like, her job's a counselor, ironically. So she listens to people all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, you said that you wanted to, but I'm not going to push. Like, I'll just loop back around with you in a couple weeks. So it's that part of it where I'm like, what? Like, what? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
But I don't give up. But a lot of people that have just surprised me and saying, yeah, I can give you 20 minutes of my time. I'm like, great, thanks. I'll
Yeah.
a little thank you gift.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the best thing for me. I think it's just talking to people and sharing.
Yeah.
And I will say that the more I talk to people, the more like it kind of fills your bucket of being passionate about what you do and why you do it.
Right.
It fills you back up and be like, okay, this wasn't so bad. Or even though they said no, like I, did what I intended to do, and they gave me some of their time. So, that for me has been life-changing for me thus far.
Yeah, that's great. And like you said, just taking the action and someone allowing you to do that 20 minutes, it makes you feel better about you. Right. And the more you do that, even if you have like 10 no's in a row, the more you do that, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm getting better at the way I present this. Yeah. And the more I do, the better I get. And then it's going to collect. So good for you. Oh. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Jen, I'm so happy you tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really am. And I want you to know that because I want so much for you and I want so much to help you. So I am really proud of you for just saying, yeah, I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna be a part of that group. So thank you.
It's good to see you, Jen.
I know. I miss you. Okay. Rachel is doing double duty over there. When you guys are needing something and everybody responds to things differently, if you feel like, I don't know, that you're not getting where you want to get, you can go at it from two different angles and each person is different. Some people, it works if you get really angry and really mad at yourself. And I don't mean beat yourself up, but like, damn it, I'm still at X, or I didn't hit my goal last month and this is it. I'm not standing for it anymore. I'm going to do whatever it takes to go out there and get it done. You can have the get really angry or the I'm going to show them and no matter what, I'm going to get it done. Or you can have the intention of the positive end. I mean, you're always positive, but everybody has a different reason that they respond. Ginger and I talk a lot, Ginger Stock McKenzie, and she's shared with me when she doesn't hit a goal, she just gets really mad at herself. And for some reason it triggers something in her head where she won't allow that to happen. So she just gets so pissed that she fights and pushes through. And I think that's kind of funny. And I think some of the people on our team probably can relate to that. And when you're going out there and talking to people, I just want to remind you guys to like act as if, well, this is not an act, but remember that you are not doing anything to the person. Think back to when you first were considering the business and what it could change in your own life. And, nobody did anything to you, right? You have to really remember that. Think of it as love. You are giving information. You are providing a service to anyone who is willing to give 20 minutes of their time to hear the amazing, incredible, life-changing, whether it's business or health or skincare, it is life-changing. And we are giving that to people. So remember that. Okay, that's my preaching side. I want to give you some tangibles, and then we're going to kind of wrap it up here. So the month of March is really, really long, which is exciting. And reminding you guys that March is always incredible in our team, like always. So that's just going to translate. That means every single one of you is going to have an awesome month, no matter what. That's happening. What I would encourage you to do is to play a trick with yourself. Cross off the last 6 days of March. Pretend that the last day of March is the 25th or the 26th. And write on there that your goal is completed on that date. As of March 25th, I fill in the blank. Promoted to district manager. I hit my, 3,010 new PCs. Like, whatever your goal is, what is your pie in the sky goal? Put it for that date. Erase that last week. So compress your timeline, because nothing brings about a push like a deadline, right? Did you guys all go to school? Remember the night before a paper was due? How much productivity you could accomplish, how much you could do in one night. Like, remember the days of that, what was it, Jolt soda? You'd like pound that thing and stay up until like 1 a.m. or whatever and get done whatever you had to get done. And you probably had your best work done in the last 2 days before your goal. So just do that to yourself and your business. You got to put that pressure, like that deadline on yourself, and then back into it. So what my homework for you guys for this week, so by the end of, we'll say Saturday or Sunday before our next call, the next 7 days, get through at least 15 names, 15 of your 30. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have a party or, events. I mean, those would be ideal, but that you've done a 20-minute conversation. And you can do that with a couple people at a time or one at a time. And the other thing that I will always, always, always remind you guys is I am here for third-party validation. Ashley and I did that a couple weeks ago, I think it was. So I am always here. Do not wait for a published Discover Arbonne or any of that. If you need it, if you're not comfortable doing that on your own, ask. That's what I'm here for, is to help you to get better at doing that. But I would also remind you that you guys all have the tools. You have everything. You're intelligent, smart, gifted, amazing people, and you have the skills to do that. You just have to do it a few more times to get yourselves pumped up for that. So that would be my homework assignment to you, is to get through at least 15. And that, goes back to the first of this month. So if you've already got 5 done, that's great. So 10 more. And as you're doing that, push yourselves as far as your volume is going. We all know sponsoring is the lifeblood. So make your goal to get 5 new PCs this week. How awesome would that be? 5 value packs, that's 1,500 in volume. Imagine you could do 5 each week. That's like 1 person a day, just working Monday through Friday. That's totally doable. And you imagine if you made that commitment to yourself to do just one person every Monday through Friday for the whole month, that would be amazing.
I just calculated that actually. I
That's
was
your
thinking of
district.
calculating that.
That's district manager. That's 6,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. Anyway, so just think about what you can, not what you can't, or what you haven't in the past. It's from this moment forward. Okay, so I'm going to read to you guys. So I always find something that strikes me because I'm always reading about 1,000 different books. And I want to share something with you guys, and we're going to kind of go back to something that happens to a lot of us, and it's this thing called doubt. Remember that crazy person? And in this book I'm reading, Millionaire Success Habits, it refers to doubt as the villain within us. So I'm going to just read you a little parable, and it's called The Villain is a Parasite. A few years back, a man went to a third world country in South America to volunteer for a worthy cause, helping those in need. After his emotional journey, he arrived back in the States filled with gratitude and ready to kick his own life into high gear. But shortly after the trip, he started feeling sluggish and a bit weak and sick. He was in his 50s, and he simply assumed the cause was aging, and it was something he just needed to start accepting. Over the next few weeks, he stopped doing certain activities that he loved. He stopped playing with his recreational basketball team and being active in the community. And he started to try to process the new thoughts of an aging man. What he didn't realize is that when he was in the jungle of South America helping out families in need, he was infected with a dangerous parasite. And from that moment on, this parasite was living inside of him, feeding off of him. Every minute of every day, it was robbing him of nutrients, sapping his energy, and diminishing his quality of life. He simply had no idea something was living inside of him, holding him back from his full potential. However, he eventually went to the doctor, found out about the parasite, got the right medicine, and the parasite was gone for good. This man appreciated life once again. In fact, he appreciated it even more so after this experience. With a new perspective on life, he felt like he could accomplish anything. So why do we share this story? Because the villain in this story is, to all intents and purposes, a parasite that's living inside of you. That doubt is your parasite. And the medicine that you need to get rid of that parasite are things like this. Connecting in regularly, reading this up, but that self-doubt is sucking the life out of you, and it is defeating you one moment at a time. And you guys do not let that rob you of the potential that you have within you. So many times I wish I could give you a medicine that would take the emotion out of this business, because if I could do that, we would all be EMVPs, every single one of us. There is no reason that would, bless you. There is no reason that would happen. So just know that if I could give you this magic pill, boom, there it is. There's no more doubt in your mind. Take my belief, because I will remind you again and again and again and again where I was. You know, I sat at district for 3 years, and it was until I had that click and that connection of that mind belief experience of going from 3,000 to 13,000, and to having all these people walk in from seemingly nowhere. You guys got this. There is nothing magical or different about me or Dana or any of us that are seemingly successful on the outside. We just keep going. Despite hearing no, or despite feeling sorry for ourselves for a day or any of it, we just keep going and focus on filling in. There's one more on my 30. That's really all it comes down to. So you guys have what you need. Let's check back in with our wins, but focus on those faces and check them off your list. Go get your 5 and just win the week. And now you can all crash because of daylight savings and have 2 fizzies tomorrow.
I think I think I'll be having more than that. I think my child's not sleeping.